Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome back to Reset Sunday. My name is Nomtandazo, and I hope that you had a fantastic week. I hope that you have applied some of the things that we spoke about in our previous episode. We spoke about the importance of pressing the pause button and just taking care of yourself, making that time, alone time to take care of yourself. And I hope that you applied some of those nuggets. Today we are on to another topic, and I'll be talking about emotional development. I will admit this was inspired by a sermon I heard from church, and I thought, why not let me share what I've learned. There's some really great nuggets in this, and it is important for us to grow and learn as always. So emotional development deals with how we understand and manage our emotions. This process begins when we are infants, right from birth. This process now begins unfolding and continues throughout our adulthood. And the more we grow, the more complex and nuanced these emotions become. And the process of growth becomes a little more intentional. You need to become a bit more intentional about this life important development process. And research shows that signs of a healthy emotional development is the ability to identify, assess, and manage your emotions. So we can safely say that if one does not have the ability to do either one, they are quite far, but not all hope is lost, because I am here today sharing some of what I have learned. Development has 5 stages, and I would like to share with you some of the things that I've learned and help you identify which stage you're on and how you would like to improve on that. So the 5 stages of emotional development, based on research and Erik Erikson's theory of physio-social development, are the following: the infancy stage, the toddler stage, inquisitive stage, the adolescent stage, and the adult stage, right? So the infancy stage is the first stage, where this is the stage where our emotions reflect the influences around us, because this is where we are highly dependent on what we have been taught. Think about a literal infant, a baby. They cannot do anything for themselves, but they rely on the caregiver, right? So when a baby cries, you as the caregiver need to figure out exactly what the problem is. They can't speak for themselves, and sometimes I've noticed that when you dance, they will start laughing. If you also start pretending to cry, they will also feel some sense of sadness and just reflect from you. So, and the infancy stage is the stage where you are highly influenced by your surroundings, and at this stage people usually have no self-regulations, and their emotions are easily affected by what's happening in their immediate environment. So any little bit of offense, a person is now angry and throwing tantrums, and you don't understand what's happening. That person is at an infancy stage of their emotional development. This is not age-based. Please do note that this is not age-based, but this is about your stage in your development process, in your emotional development process. The second stage is the toddler stage, where a person now begins to identify these emotions, these different emotions, and they want to assert their independence and to develop a sense of self-control. So you'll notice with the toddlers, they'll tell you, no, I'm angry, no, I want to do this, no, I'm sad, no, I'm crying, because of 1, 2, 3. So they're beginning to understand, though they may not be able to self-regulate at that moment, but they are able to assert their independence, tell you what is going on in their minds, and they're beginning to have a sense of self-control, though not absolute, right? The stage 3 is the inquisitive stage, where now we begin to take initiative, and we start focusing on developing on skills and competencies. So this inquisitive stage is where one starts to ask questions. Why is this like this? Why is this like that? It's not easy to accept everything as it comes, but they at this stage, when you are inquisitive, you start questioning things, even on your self. You want to understand, why am I feeling like this? Why is the next person feeling like this? Is there something wrong that I've done? Is there something wrong that they've done to me? So the inquisitive stage is a really, 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 really interesting stage to be in, because you're starting now to question things for what they are, and you're trying to get answers. And at this stage also, it is very easy to potentially feel inferior. You have doubts. You're not sure if you're doing the right thing or if you're doing the wrong thing. So the inquisitive stage of our emotional development is a very, very interesting stage to be in. Stage 4 is the adolescent stage, where we start exploring our identity and values, and also we may start experiencing confusion. And I've noticed that a lot of times this is where your feelings about certain things are no longer the same, or maybe you no longer react the way you used to. You are now beginning to have your own set of values, and what used to bother you doesn't bother you anymore. What used to never bother you, it now bothers you, because now you are starting to develop, and it may cause a bit of confusion, because why am I feeling like this? Why am I relaxed about this issue, where previously I would have been mad about it? And that's the adolescent stage, that's teen stage, where you want to assert yourself as an individual and set yourself apart. And then we have the adult generative stage, when in this stage you are able to manage your emotions, you are able to identify them, you are able to self-regulate, you are able to identify even the emotions that others are feeling. So that's stage 5. So the question is now, why are these stages so important? These stages are so important for us to know, and because we want to be aware. We want to be a people that is self-aware. First, reason number 1 why these stages are so important is because emotional regulation is important. You are able to identify your triggers, and you are able to apply healthy coping mechanisms, and you are able to think rationally. For example, when I'm upset, I know when I'm upset that I can't be around people. So I know that when that emotion hits, I take a walk, whether 15 minutes, 10 minutes, and I come back to the situation. That will also prevent me from making rash decisions in the moment. That will also prevent me from speaking something that will hurt those who are around me. So when you are emotionally developed in the adult stage, you are able to regulate your emotions, and you are able to think rationally. You are able to remove the cloud of emotions. Whether emotions are not only negative emotions, even the positive emotions, such as being excited and being happy. Sometimes being overly excited or overly happy or overjoyed can cause you to make mistakes, and you say something or you do something because you're too excited, and then it ends up being something that hurts the people that are around you. But when you are able to emotionally regulate, you are able to think rationally, you are able to put those emotions aside, or just calm down and think rationally and not going into any decision hastily. Secondly, emotional intelligence. You are aware of your emotions and the emotions of others, which will improve your communication and interpersonal relationships. So emotional intelligence helps us to improve in our communication and our interpersonal relationships. Thirdly, why these stages are important: empathy development. You are able to understand and share the feelings of others, leading to more compassion and support to the people that are around you. When you're an emotionally developed person, you are able to put yourself into somebody's shoes. Please take note, it's not sympathy but empathy. So you are literally going into the person's shoes and trying to feel what they feel, and that's why these stages are important. The more you grow in this development, the more you go through the process, you are able to achieve all of these stages and be able to hit on the emotional regulation, emotional intelligence, and empathy development. And when you are emotionally developed, you are not easily offended. You are not easily offended. You don't just take offense to anything and everything, but you are able to regulate yourself, put yourself into the person's shoes, and see beyond the situation that is in front of you, and are able to calm down that situation and able to help people to navigate through whatever is going on in the moment. So in conclusion, emotional development is just a lifelong journey that shapes how we understand and manage our emotions. And by identifying which stage we are in and working towards improvement, we can develop a better emotional regulation, intelligence, and empathy. The key here is self-awareness and the willingness to grow. So no matter where you are, progress is always possible. Next week, we'll be touching on something similar, spiritual development, and we'll be looking at it also through the lens of these stages. Where are you, in terms of your spiritual development? So I'll be talking a bit about our spiritual development on our podcast next week. So I hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that you'll take some self reflection this week and just be an emotionally developed person, someone who's able to regulate their emotions. This is going to benefit you not only in your own little corner, but in your interpersonal relationships at work, the networks, your friendships. This has a lot of benefit. So I hope that you apply all of these and you identify which step you'd like to take from today on. Thank you very much.